Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. And tonight we are going to be doing General Tso's chicken. And I think pretty sure we did this already, like way back in the Twitch days. It was one of the very early streams. But I want to do it again for a couple of reasons. First of all, most of you probably haven't seen it. And second of all, it's such a fantastic, easy dish to make for a whole bunch of reasons. And one of the reasons I really like it, so I love Chinese American cooking. I like takeout Chinese stuff. I like making the dishes at home. It's always way better than takeout. And I've made a whole bunch of them over the years, days, whatever. But the one thing I really like about General Tso's chicken is for some reason, this one kind of stands on its own. It's like you can make this and just have it over rice and it feels like a complete meal. Whereas the other dishes I make, I always seem to make like two or three. Like when you would order Chinese, you get two or three dishes or whatever. You don't just order one. But General Tso stands on its own, which makes it particularly easy to throw together on a weeknight because it's very, very simple to make. There's a couple of interesting techniques we get to showcase doing it. And the recipe has a lot of synergy, and you'll see that as we get into tonight. So let me switch over to ingredients thing. Of course, we have chicken here. You can use chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, or you can use chicken breasts. I happen to have these on hand, so I'm using chicken breasts. Chicken thighs technically will taste maybe a little better, and they're also impossible to overcook, chicken thighs. So these chicken breasts, as you know, get like tough and whatever, dry out if you overcook them. But honestly, with this recipe, it's kind of hard to overcook them. They're only in the oil like 3 minutes anyway. So we're gonna prep this, and I think I'll go through the ingredients. Just trying to think of how I want to do this tonight. Chicken does have to marinate, and I haven't even cut it up yet. So let's get the chicken cut, and we'll go from there. So you want these pieces pretty small, actually, like 1 inch pieces, and the reason for that is they get coated in not even a batter, like a coating that everybody knows. Like it's really crunchy and crispy, and the coating itself has a fair bit of volume. So if your chicken pieces are too big, I mean, you do want bite-sized pieces, right? And you don't want them to like be too big to eat. So cut them a little smaller than you would normally probably do for a recipe like this, or when you were like dicing chicken. Anyway. And the other ingredients we'll go through in a second. So this is wow, there are so many different recipes for General Tso's chicken. This recipe was originally created by a Taiwanese chef whose name I can't even begin to approach pronouncing. So I won't do him a disservice by attempting it. This was in the 60s, and he created this dish to sort of honor his Hunanese ancestors. And his favorite Hunanese ancestor was General Tso. So General Tso died long before this dish was created, but it's named in his sort of honor. Also, this is very much a Chinese American dish. You're not going to find this like, in mainland China or anything like that. And that actually seems like a lot of chicken already, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a good question, Rebecca. I'm looking at this, and I'm not exactly sure, because I seem to have a lot of chicken here. I pulled these two breasts out. You can't see them. I pulled these two out earlier, and then okay, so there's just 3 of us. Serena is here with her cousin, so there's just 3 of us. And I guess I'm going to just do 1 breast per. That'll probably give us leftovers. But I kind of looked at these 2 breasts originally and panicked and thought, that's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough food. So let's go for 3 breasts, and we'll go from there. I do want to get this in the marinade because we're going to let it sit. We're also going to try a small experiment tonight because it's not really a marinade as much as it is a dressing. And I noticed this on the weekend. I did a big barbecue before we went to see My Chemical Romance, which is an amazing show, and a whole other story. But one of the things I make for those big barbecue things is burgers, which I love. I have a big flat top, and I make souvlaki. And souvlaki is just cubed chicken, and again, that cubed chicken, it's not a marinade, it's just a dressing of olive oil, oregano, and parsley and other good stuff. And you literally just sort of toss the chicken in it before you throw it on the grill. It doesn't really need to marinate. So we're gonna put that to the test tonight with this chicken and see how that goes. In the meantime, what am I gonna put this in? Don't know yet. Hang on. Okay. Let's get the chicken back over here. Get this thing out of the way. I don't need my knife. Oh, I will need the knife actually. And I'm gonna be doing dishes for you guys tonight too. Give me one sec. I just remembered I got to prep garlic and stuff too. Okay, so let's get this marinade going. The marinade is very, very simple. We're going to start with hoisin sauce. And there are different kinds of marinades. Some marinades have hoisin sauce in them, some don't. But hoisin sauce kind of makes things easy because it's a amalgamation of some of the other ingredients that you would normally put in anyway. So it saves you a little bit of time. And I'm going to do a full sauce recipe for this, so I want about half a cup of hoisin sauce, which I'm going to use this for. And I have more in the fridge. Okay, that's one. Give me a sec. One nice thing about a small kitchen is everything is always like right at hand. Okay, let's start that again. So the nice thing about this is, and the reason we're making the sauce is we're going to steal a little bit of the sauce to be our marinade. So this is one of the little synergies I was talking about. And if you were here last week when we did the sweet and sour pork, you'll recognize the next two ingredients, which are a quarter cup of vinegar. This is just straight up white vinegar, and somewhere here I got 3 tablespoons of sugar. So this is straight up our sweet and sour sauce from last week. And remember I said we can use that as a base for so many other sauces, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Okay, I want a little bit of soy sauce in here. I'm going to go with 3 tablespoons about. Well, not about, exactly 3 tablespoons. And we want some cornstarch and some water. So the cornstarch, of course, is to coat the chicken and make it crispy. And of course, we're going to dredge this. And we'll talk about the cornstarch mixture when we get there for the coating. This is going to thicken the sauce and coat the chickens. Everything's doing double duty tonight. There are different ratios you can use for coating when you're doing fried chicken, and this applies to whether you're doing like chicken like this, like General Tso's chicken, or fried chicken, or whatever. You're always going to have different ratios of flour to cornstarch. The more flour you put in, the faster it will go soft. But you get that nice craggy crust. The more cornstarch is, the harder it's going to be, and you don't want to do like all cornstarch, or you get like a super hard, crispy crust. So it needs to be a mix of the two. Okay, now I need to steal a little bit of that for our marinade, and I have no idea what I'm even going to marinate in tonight. Let's marinate in this. So I want about 6 tablespoons, I think, for my chicken. So let's get the chicken in a bowl here so we can like massage it and marinate it. This is a lot of chicken now that I'm looking at it. So I'm going to have leftovers, but that's okay. Leftovers are good. That's 1, 2, 3. Counting as I go here. Oh, you know what I forgot to put in? Now I have a problem. Okay, guys. The other ingredient in the sauce. Actually, you know what? This will still work. This is gonna be fine. This is gonna be fine. Let me get the marinade going here. Hey, Nick. Okay, so I stole a little bit of the marinade for this. This is gonna be fine. Because what we want to do actually is reduce this sauce slightly. And I want to add some water here. But this is still okay. This is just going to give us an extra rich marinade. It's just going to stay there. Let's get some water into this sauce. Okay. Back on track here. Okay. So, double duty here. We're going to use this for our sauce, and what we want to do is just pop this over heat. So normally I would do this. I would do this in my wok, but since I don't have a spatula, sorry, spatula, a whisk that's safe for non-stick. So I'm just going to do it in my favorite pan, which is this chef's pan. So let's just get this cranked up to temperature. And what we want to do here is we want to heat this up. That kind of activates the cornstarch and will give us a nice thick sauce, which then we're going to set aside for a few minutes. Okay, now that we've raced through all of that, I feel better now that the chicken's marinating. Are there any questions? Found cherry Coke, or Serena did, which is wonderful. Maybe that'll be the cool thing this week is cherry Coke. Okay, in the meantime, while this is coming up, let's get our, we can multitask here. Let's get our aromatics going. So, same as last week actually. Aromatics are going to be garlic and ginger. If you had some scallions, it wouldn't be wrong to put them in here. I don't have any, so I'm just going to go with this. You want about, I don't know, 4 cloves of garlic? I think that's about right. I got a mix of like big and small here. I think I have 5 here, but it should be alright. So Nick, this is a super easy dish to throw together. Really, really simple. And I'm not going to mince these things. I'm just going to run them through a press. There we go. So now you can see the sauce here as it comes up to a boil, and it really just needs to come up for a couple of minutes. You know, it's already, you can see, I don't know if you guys can see how much this is thickening already. Let's get some garlic in here. You know, my garlic press doesn't like me today. A little more. And for ginger, we're going to aim for about maybe 2 tablespoons. That's ready already. So, I don't know if you guys can see, but this is just thickened up beautifully. That's going to be our sauce. Almost all of it for later. Now, the other technique we're going to do tonight is a little cheat with the, it's not a cheat really, but in order to get like the extra craggy coating, we're going to save a little bit of the, actually just remind me when we do it, we'll just put it in. We're going to save a little bit of this into our coating. Running out of space tonight. For a simple dish, it does seem like I'm using a lot of stuff in my kitchen. But maybe it just feels like that tonight. Okay, so we're gonna, we want, like, as I said, maybe 2 tablespoons of ginger. And I'm just gonna slice it and then mince it somehow. The easiest way to do it is just cut it into, like, little thin slices. And then thin strips. And it doesn't need to be perfect. You can even just leave it like this. I've actually gotten in the habit of like eating my ginger maybe a little bit bigger. Like the strands are actually kind of nice in the dish. But for this one, I'm going to do it by the book, which means we dice it all up. There we go. That's about 2 tablespoons, give or take. Okay, chicken is not ready yet. What do we want to do here? Isn't craggy a good word? Extra cragginess. Yeah, if that only worked, Nick, that'd be great. All right, so for the breading and the coating, let me get this back in the fridge out of the way. I'm gonna make some space here, guys. Oh yeah. Also unplug the fridge because it's really, really loud. Okay, somebody remind me what we're doing here. We are doing the dredge. Okay, so for the dredge, it's really straightforward. We're gonna go with 3 large egg whites. So let's get that. So again, this is a classic, like into the eggs, into the coating, and we want and this is one of the few places where you kind of just want the whites. And I wanted to do that the other way, actually. White goes in there, yolk goes in there. I'll make the yolks into pasta or something later. But for this one, you just want whites because we're going to whip them so they're a little bit frothy. Just makes a nicer coating. And for those of you with drawers full of kitchen gadgets who have an egg separator, I got to tell you guys, every egg comes with one built in. Seems to work just fine. There we go. All right, you guys go away for another day. And where did my whisk go? I'm just gonna whip these up. You don't have to go crazy. We're not making a meringue here. You just want to get to the point where they're frothy. Oh yeah, we're just about to get the tip of the week now that I hear the rice is done. So, if you guys don't have a rice cooker, you should. It's an incredibly useful tool. It makes perfect rice every single time with the push of a button. And yes, I know, you can do it in a pot and stove, and people have different techniques. I've seen people do it in the oven, and they have all these fantastic ways of doing it in a pot. Personally, I think they're crazy. I like putting it in the rice cooker and pushing the button. And I mean, I like doing things from scratch normally, like... You know, I got into skateboards and I made my own skateboards, but I'm not making my own rice like that. All right, eggs are ready. Now the one trick or the one tip I will tell you, and you know what, they don't actually, I'm gonna show you guys. They don't tell you, like this isn't in your rice cooker directions. The little bits, oh, it's just a little bit of the yolk, Rebecca. Or it could be a little bit of the sauce off the whisk. Once your rice is done, if you're not going to, even if you are going to use it right away, is you got to dig in and fluff it. Okay, and it just means digging it up, getting some air in there, and then let it sit. Like I'm just going to let this sit till we're ready, and then just let it sit till you're ready to use it. That will infinitely improve your rice. Okay. Chicken, egg. We need a. We need a coating mixture. Now, I'm going to go with, I actually don't know. I think I'm going to go with mostly cornstarch for this one. So I'm going to do 3 parts cornstarch to 1 part flour. Because I like my General Tso crispy. But you guys can play with this. Don't go below, yeah, Nick's got it. See? Chef's plate. They know what they're talking about. I wouldn't go below like 1/3 cornstarch. I don't think. I think it's just not going to be crispy enough if you do it that way. So I would go with, I'm doing 3-to-1, as I said, because I like mine really crispy. So I'm going to do that tonight. Where is my flour? Empty. Wow, I'm just firing on all cylinders tonight, guys. But again, advantage of a small kitchen is like everything is just within reach. Okay, other tip for making it extra crispy and nice airy crust is just a tiny bit of baking soda. You want like, I don't know, like half a teaspoon maybe? A little goes a long way. Okay. And I need to mix this up with something. A couple of chopsticks will do it. Now, the other thing too is, and I know we have a lot of chicken, but even so is you want a lot of cornstarch, way more than you think you need. Obviously, we don't need this much cornstarch to coat all the chicken, but you do want enough so that you can just like pile the chicken in here and every piece gets completely coated. So as I said, the other thing, Nick remind me, or I've got his little reminder there, we're going to take about, it doesn't take much. We're just going to drizzle a little bit of this into the batter. And I do the same thing with the fried chicken. And you just want to create like little clumps, almost like cornmeal, or I don't know if you guys can see that it's almost like a meal. This is perfect. This is perfect. And these, of course, will give us our favorite word, extra craggy. All right. Feel good about that? Any questions? Wow, we are just moving along tonight. As I said, this should go quick. And now I have to fry up some stuff. So, how do I want to do this? Don't need that. I kind of do need that, actually. Just trying to plan this out, guys. All right, let's do this. Having said I wasn't going to use the wok, here it is. I'm going to actually put the sauce in here because I'm terrified of spilling my sauce everywhere. Okay, so that can sit there. And let's get our chicken frying. So we're going to use, really didn't want to do that actually. Do I want to do that? I have to fry up the aromatics for the mix. And I was going to do it in that pot. One of those nice guys. Okay, let's do it this way. I do want this pot to toss the chicken in. It'll be a lot easier to do it in the wok than the pot. Wow, you'd think it'd be like, I can't remember the last time I made this. I remember it being a little more seamless. And we even talked about synergy. I'm not feeling very synergistic right now. But sometimes, sometimes that's just the way it goes when you cook, Not everything's going to go exactly the way you want. Am I talking fast? Yeah. Might be a little amped tonight. Might be a little amped. All right. Let's put the brakes on. We're going to take a break, have a little bit of cherry Coke, and wait for the oil to heat up. And then we can pop the sauce in after. Everything's going to work. Okay, and of course for garlic and ginger, this is just going to go in for like, until fragrant, which in this pan is like less than a minute. And you don't, there are recipes out, yes, Nick. That's exactly the way to do it. I mean, you can't, people get all bent out of shape about oil, that it's unhealthy, which is not true, that it has a lot of calories, which is true. But remember, oil is a cooking medium. Now, this, I'm going to use all the oil I put in here, but if you put too much oil in a pan or you're cooking with oil, you can always take it out. You know, cook with your oil, drain some of it off, and you're fine. Yeah, I'm with Nick on this one. I'm with Nick on this one. Okay, now I feel better with the aromatics. Get the sauce back in here. Get our dose of ASMR for tonight. And this can go off. Okay, so now our sauce is ready for the chicken. And I'm just gonna let this, I just got the heat off here. We'll bring everything up to temperature at the end. Okay. Things are moving just fine. Any other questions? Okay, so now I kind of want to take some of the, it doesn't matter. Strain just a bit. So give it a good egg coating. We're going to have to fry this in batches anyway. I won't make you guys watch me fry all this chicken. We'll just get a good batch to go for show and a taste test. And then these pieces can go straight into the, and again, so this is the one time you don't really have to worry about the whole wet hand, dry hand nonsense, which I can never remember what's what. You can just pile it all in there because we're going to use both hands to get it well separated and well coated. Okay, that can go over there. You guys can see okay? Yeah, there we go. And again, this is the reason we're using so much cornstarch, is I can just dive in here, get everything well coated, and then straight into the oil. Yeah, and you want, you want like every piece well coated. You don't have to like, you don't have to press it in or anything, but you do want a good coating, good solid coating. Okay, let's get some of this in the oil and see what happens. So I'm kind of using the spider skimmer to sift off the excess coating before I put it in. You can also just drop them straight in piece by piece with your hands, if that's the way you do things, but you do have to be respectful of your oil. All right, I'm gonna go for 3 minutes on that one. Figure that's about right. Just a little bit of a toss, get everything separated here. The only downside, well, it's not even the only drawback of doing General Tso's chicken is it pretty much, you get one fry to your oil. Well, I'm not sifting, yes, Rebecca, fast greens today. I'm not sifting the cragginess away. That's the stuff that was going to fall off anyway and pollute my oil. All right, let's get this back on. So this is going to be an interesting thing to do because I guess I'm going to have to coat it and serve it and then fry up the rest as we go. It is definitely a fast greens night. everybody who knows, well, maybe Nick doesn't know the story. Can I tell it in 2 minutes? Maybe. Nick, the fast greens reference goes way back to when I was in golf, and I was reading this story about a Canadian golfer whose name I can't even remember, some amateur guy, and he went to play on the European Tour because he wasn't good enough to play on the PGA. And very early in the season, he teamed up with a really experienced Spanish golfer named Seve Ballesteros. And they were playing in Spain, and it was scorching, scorching hot. And so the greens were super hard. And when the greens are really hard, they're called fast. And what makes a fast green challenging is that you tap the ball and it rolls forever. And it can be very, very frustrating. So they were just chatting on the first tee, and he was asking Seve about it. He's like, how do you feel about the fast greens? And Seve said, I love fast greens. I played my best game. Every time I come out and the greens are fast, I have my best game ever. So the guy was thinking, he's going to be happy then because the greens are super fast. And Seve played a great round. And then towards the end of the season, they ended up on a link-style course in Scotland. And it had been pouring for like 8 weeks. And the course was soaked. It was drenched. And so the greens were really, really soggy, and they were really, really slow greens, so that you had to hit the ball pretty hard to get it to go anywhere, which can also be very challenging. And he got paired up with Seve again, and they met on the first tee, and he was a little concerned for Seve because he's of their previous conversation. So he's like, Seve, how do you feel about the greens today? And Seve's like, I love slow greens. I come out here on a slow green, the greens are slow, I have my best game ever. And he went on to have a great round. And, the moral kind of stares you in the face there. But it's not a bad attitude to have, So, anyway, I've shortened that to fast greens, and anybody who knows me has heard that story from me at least twice. But I thought I'd tell it again because I had 2 minutes to do it, right? So why not? It's kind of similar to pedaling too. Okay, we are getting very close to done here. Let's have a look. And look at this. They are perfect. Oops. Renegade. Okay, very, very hot, but we have like extra crag here. Very happy with the cragginess of these. Okay, I don't know if I can hold one up for you guys. How am I going to do that? Chopsticks maybe? Get one up to the camera. And I'm gonna hand pick one with maximum crag because I want to show off the good ones. But look, you guys can see there. A little focus, like this maybe. There, that is the crag level that you want. We are good to go. Okay, so how am I gonna do this? I'm gonna sauce a portion because I'm gonna feed Serena and her cousin Mike probably after stream. So I'm gonna sauce a portion of this so that we can do a taste test. And then we're going to be wrapping up, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Fast and Furious tonight. I mean, that was fast. What are we up to? Fast and the Furious 10, 11 now? This is Fast and Furious 11, the general. Right? Alright. Let's give this a toss and see where we get to. Yeah, well, see? Sorry guys, I spoiled Fast and the Furious 11 for you. It's the general. It takes place in Taiwan. It's a time travel one, which Serena will hate. They go back in time to Taiwan in the 60s to help out the inventor of chicken. General Tso's chicken. He's being oppressed by somebody. A lot of people in Taiwan are oppressed. Okay. I'm going to serve it over a little rice for presentation. Soak up some of the sauce. That's a lot of rice, Rob. And I'm just going to scoop this out. it's hot. Shit. Really hot, actually. Go figure. Now, if you wanted this like super extra crunchy, you could actually take it out and fry it a second time. But it seems unnecessary tonight. All right, now that I completely covered my camera and point of view and everything, let's see if we can bring some order back to things here. So you guys can see. Okay. Any questions before we dig into this? A little palate cleanser of cherry Coke. I'm gonna go for the extra. Oh wow, it looks really hot. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for a sec. Yeah, I don't know, Rebecca. It seems like a lot smaller tonight. It's the same size. I'm feeling a little like cramped. Don't know. Okay, here we go. Oh, it looks really hot. Mmm. Yeah. And this is exactly the right flavor that I want from my homemade Chinese American dishes. The advantage of making them at home is you get all the wonderful flavor of takeout Chinese without that extra level of like goop. The China, I mean, there are some good Chinese food places, but like for your run-of-the-mill Chinese place, the sauces aren't the best quality ingredients, and everything's so heavily sauced, and they just taste like a little muddy. The flavors are muddied, whereas here you have that flavor that you love from that first bite of whether it's lemon chicken or General Tso chicken or beef with broccoli, all those great fusion dishes. The flavor you want is there without that cloying, textury flavor that sort of clings to your palate. Yeah. I'm really happy with this. Very, very happy. Wow, guys. This may be the shortest stream ever. We are only 37 minutes in. But it just goes to show you, like, how fast you can put this together. I mean, I didn't, well, you saw by the state I was in when we started this. I did no prep. Everything was from scratch. I was only half ready. And we still got it done in 37 minutes, which means you could do this, like, yeah, I definitely think this is the fastest Rebecca. But I'm now gonna ruin the record here because I actually wanted to talk a little bit about that. And I'll get back to my food in a second. By the way, guys, this is amazing. Highly recommend you make it. But I do a lot of research on YouTube. I watch YouTube for cooking courses. Aside from photography, cooking is one of the things I watch a lot of. I like to see what other people are doing, of course. And I saw two interesting things today, which is kind of unfortunate in that I was watching, I looked at a video from one of the photographer guys I follow. And the video was titled, "Why My Photography Business Failed." And it was a very clickbaity title. And I clicked, it worked. But this particular individual, this YouTuber, that's not normally his style. Like, clickbaity titles aren't normally what he does. And I was reading through the comments, and a couple of people commented on, like, it was a really clickbaity title. And he replied very honestly, saying, like, I want, I can switch the camera. I want people to watch the video. And he's like, if I don't put a clickbaity title on it, it gets 2,000 views. And if I put this clickbait title on it, it gets 50,000 views. And that's just the way YouTube works. And I don't think there's anything you can do about that. But the thing with cooking channels is they also have clickbaity titles. And it's always like, make this awesome restaurant dish in 8.5 minutes, just like the restaurants do, but even faster. Like, there's a guy whose whole naming scheme for his for his videos is just like this but better, or just like this but faster, or faster than this but faster. Like, I've seen his titles are literally like faster than this but faster. And I've said this before in streams over and over again. We don't work in restaurants. I love the chef jacket. It's very comfortable. It's a very thoughtful gift, and it's cool when the kitchen gets hot. And it's very functional. But I don't work in a restaurant. I have, of course. But when you're cooking at home, like, take your time. You should be doing the opposite. You should be doing just like the restaurants, but slower. And part of the reason you want to do just like the restaurants, but slower, is not, first of all, to enjoy it, but restaurants design their recipes to be put together in a particular way for speed and efficiency. And that's not, they compromise to do that sometimes. You know, it's not that they cut corners, but they optimize their recipes for time and efficiency, and sometimes they sacrifice a technique or a quality of the dish that you can do better at home. Which is one of the reasons I love teaching the techniques so much, because you can look at those recipes online, you can look at the fastest recipes, and kind of reverse engineer them, and then take a technique, like they'll say to do one thing, and you can say, no, like, I know the proper way to do that, and I know they're doing that because it's a little bit faster, but I'm not in a hurry. I don't need to do it that way. This whole drive towards making cooking super fast because it's a chore that you just need to get out of the way so that you can get on with the rest of your night. I don't know, what are you going to, like, binge Netflix or something? I mean, that's not wrong, but set aside the time for the cooking and enjoy it. Make it part of your evening. Don't go, oh, well, like, I gotta not go dinner in 15 minutes so that I can do stuff. Make the kitchen make the cooking the stuff that you do. Okay, so I'm kind of ranting a bit. And part of it's because it's a bit of a process to learn how to cook efficiently. And it comes with practice. And so if you're always, like, knocking stuff out as fast as you can because you don't enjoy it, you're never going to want to develop the skills. And you're never going to get to the point where cooking becomes really enjoyable. Because once it becomes enjoyable, once you turn the corner, crest the hill or whatever, you'll plan better, you'll eat better, you'll enjoy your food more, it'll taste better for sure. And I just think in general your life is going to be a lot better. And I want a better life for everybody. And so this is the way I can do it. Anyway, guys, okay, I rant off. We haven't talked about next week yet. Oh, no, I do have an idea. So next week is going to be really interesting. I discovered a carbonara variant that was made for a pope. And I think it's pasta al... No, I can't remember. I'm not going to say it now. I can't remember now. Anyway, they slightly refined the carbonara dish at the request of a pope to make it more refined. And it looks really interesting, and I kind of want to do that for you guys next week. But I'm also open to suggestions. So I kind of have a plan. If you think of something else you want to see, just shoot me a text or something. All right, guys. Everybody have an amazing evening. Thank you for tuning in and doing this with me. I love doing it. I'm going to get back to my food and fry up the rest of the chicken for everybody who's here. And yeah, have a great night, guys. Bye.